Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to go through a few tips around how you can improve your front rack mobility and position just by understanding a few simple things. So there's going to be some movements I'm going to go through that can assist that, but for starters we're going to get into how we can improve the position just by a few simple cues. So majority of people, when they're looking at their front rack, they're looking at the wrists and trying to stretch the wrists to improve range of motion through there. Try and look proximally rather than distally. So look at the orientation and the shape of the rib cage. Are they in a position where they're squeezing their shoulder blades back together and they're really compressed through the upper back? If that's the case, allow them to reach through their shoulders. So you're going to use cues that are going to allow them to reach their elbows forward. I like to, when I rack the bar, try and teach people to bring the elbows together and forward. That way they can feel what it's like to separate the shoulders rather than squeeze them back. They might have been taught to keep their upper back tight, so they'll just tend to squeeze the shoulder blades back and down, which is just robbing them of some movement options anyway, and they're probably going to have the bar resting below the collarbone. So just by making that subtle change and restoring a bit of that thoracic curve through the upper back can actually be really useful. The second thing can be implementing any kind of reach. Most people are really comfortable with reaching in their back exercises. So if you're going to use a high cable pull down, even a ring row or a pull up, and allowing them just to hang and separate their shoulders and allow their shoulders to move. The two movements that I'm going to show you today, the first is going to be an alternating dumbbell press, and the second one is going to be a kettlebell press from a squat position. The first movement is an alternating dumbbell press. We're going to grab two dumbbells and we're going to lay down on a bench into a hook lying position with our knees up. From here, we're going to focus on keeping our ribs down and just try and reach and allow that serratus to actually push our shoulder blades forward and try and get a little bit more range of motion. It looks something like this. From here, you'll lower one dumbbell down, you'll reach towards the ceiling and then alternate and press. And as you perform that alternating action, you're going to exaggerate that press towards the ceiling and try and get a little bit of a reach through the back of the shoulder. For this kettlebell press, we're going to front rack the kettlebell. Our knuckles are going to face our chin, and it's going to put us in a similar position to what we'll experience when we're actually doing a front squat with a barbell. So from here, we can just swing the kettlebell up to our front rack position, go down into a deep squat. So we're spending more time in this deep squat. Once we're in our rack position, we're going to turn and press and allow that kettlebell, the weight of it, to guide our shoulder into shoulder flexion. I like the use of the kettlebell because it can kind of use the actual mass of the kettlebell to guide us into a better position overhead. You can use a dumbbell, but you're going to want to do a bit of a twist like you would see in an Arnold press, just to allow those shoulder blades to wrap around the rib cage and get into a nice position overhead. If the kettlebell stays in front overhead, that's fine. Just try and focus on getting a locked out elbow, and you can maybe sit back a little bit more into that deep squat. Hopefully you found this useful and you can apply this to your front rack, and hopefully you can catch those cleans and power cleans a little bit better.